look at your time in the Cup car, first start was Coda, and then the 600, and you got one at Watkins Glen. How do you feel like the progression has gone on that side?
Yeah, I mean, I've grown each race. The finishes have gotten better each race, partially because of luck and bad luck. But, yeah, the Coke 600, I'm glad I did that race. It was 400 laps of practice for me, basically. I was 2 laps down by the time it was all said and done, and kind of just running around trying things, just things that, I wouldn't even ever think to try if I was racing for points or anything. Just, I mean, you can't go out and test anymore. So the only time you can test is in a race. So I kind of just treated it like that. And then in Atlanta, it took me a little bit to get up to speed. But by the last stage, we got my car handling a little bit better, and I felt much more comfortable in the Cup car. So, yeah, it's going to take time. The car is a lot different. It's very on edge. There's not a lot of room for error. And it's just going to, I'm probably going to make mistakes and have moments. And, there's going to be bad days. But, as long as I continue to see myself grow, I'll be satisfied. So, yeah, it's going to be a process, no matter how you look at it.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I know you talk about the car and moving up to Cup. In the few races, what has it been like in terms of the competition and learning what these guys do and how they do it and maybe how ruthless? I'm sure they probably picked on you to some degree.
Yeah, there's no breaks given, whether you're racing for the win, a top 10, 32nd, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone's there to be in the next best position, and everyone gets paid to finish as good as possible. So there's no slack cut like there is in Xfinity. Xfinity, you get to the top 5 and it gets tougher, but from 10th on back, it's not really, especially being in such a good car, people understand that, you're not going to be able to hold someone off for long or anything like that. But in Cup, I mean, it's just ruthless. Like, those guys race for every spot like it's the last lap of their life. And it's just a unique style. But I love it. It's very fun as a driver to be able to just kind of experience that and race. The races are really long, and you never feel like you settle in. Like, you're always fighting for the next spot or defending from the guy behind you, and it's just kind of unique. So yeah, I mean, it's what it's talked up to be. I mean, the Cup Series is no joke, and I don't think it's quite understood how big of a jump Saturday to Sunday is.
Did you understand it before you made it?
I had people tell me, and I'm friends with Zane and Noah and all them, and they told me, dude, you just wait till you're fighting for a lucky dog, or just wait till you're 25th and you're cheering that you finish top 20, and you don't understand, like, till you get there. Every guy in the Cup Series was a champion or a winner or was dominating at certain points of their career, and you get to the Cup Series and nobody dominates. There's no guy that's clear and ahead of the field. It's just different, and it's tough to understand. It sucks losing, but you learn how to lose. And I'm enjoying my time on Saturday while I can. Winning races is fun, but I'm just trying to learn as much as I can so that when that day comes that I make the jump to Sundays, I'm ready for it.
You referenced earlier is just that not having the practice, being able to test like years and years ago. And obviously that was one thing that's been talked about, is just how challenging that can be on younger drivers to make the step up. I guess I would ask, in this era where simulation is so big and it's, it's what you grew up with in a sense, or more comfortable with. What have you noticed in that transition, just even in these few races? I don't know if you can say it feels like you're prepared more than who had 10,000 laps of testing, because you don't have those, but do you get a sense of how that helps, or how far you still are behind because you don't have the track time, even with all the simulation?
Yeah, there's no replacement for getting in the car and feeling it under your butt. Like, it's just the nature of it. I mean, you can get in the simulator and run as much as you want, but until you get in the car and start to feel it get sideways, you can. I run in the simulator, and I can't make 5 laps without wrecking some days. And you do that in real life, and there's no reset button. So it's just, yeah, you can drive in the simulator and overdrive and just crash and, hey guys, can you restart that? You can't do that in real life. So it's tough building up and learning to feel what 100% of the tire feels like, because it is a very thin line in the Cup car. And, the Xfinity car, you can go over the tire and slip it and kind of slide around and not really, you don't get yourself in trouble as easily. And you do that in the Cup car and you're around and you're wrecking. So, it's just kind of one of those things that, you have to kind of crawl up to, but you also don't have a lot of time. There's not a lot of breaks given, and it's not like I have 5 years to go learn how to drive a Cup car. I gotta go out and figure it out as quick as I can, and I feel like I've been able to do that a lot in my career, racing different cars and just understanding how to get up to speed as quick as possible in a new type of vehicle. But still, no matter what, it's a difficult jump, and the cars are much different. And no matter how much simulator you run, there's nothing like going out on the track and feeling it for yourself.
So, looking ahead to Watkins Glen, since that's at this point the last race, what, other than running all the laps, what are you trying to get in? Why is that important in the sense of being on a road course where there's a little bit more comfort factor for you? And what are you trying to get out of that weekend, and how does it help that it's a road course, because of that's your wheelhouse in a sense?
Yeah, honestly, I probably wish it was an oval for myself, just because I could learn probably more. I'll go there and I'll learn, and there's no substitute for time on Sundays, but I would definitely learn more if I was racing at Kansas or Vegas or something like that. And I don't really make those decisions, but I still feel like I'm going to be able to have more time in the Cup car, feeling the car, getting a better understanding for what I need to do to be a winning Sunday racer. And Trackhouse has been really good on the road courses lately, so I have a lot of confidence in the car that we'll have at Watkins Glen, and being able to compete with, guys like SVG. And, I want to be able to do that. And next year, I think my best chance to win a race would be on a road course. So, the practice starts now, and that's going to be good for me. So, I'm not too worried about going out there and winning the race, but, by all means, I want to go and be competitive and try and run as good as possible, and just have a mistake-free day, quiet day, and hopefully come home with a good finish.